Browns training camp about to get underway, and we are previewing every aspect of the team, the offense, the defense, the quarterbacks, and now the coaches. I'm Dan-Labbe alongside Mary Kay Cabot. A new coach, again, Mary Kay, Mike-Pettine. What are your early impressions of him?
Well, first of all, I really like his personality, and I think Browns fans will too. He's strong, he's self-assured, and that's one of the qualities that I admire most in a head coach, when they're secure. You don't like to see chinks in the armor from your leader, and we have seen them before around these parts, and it's not a flattering thing. This guy knows what he wants, he knows his mind. He's been, beat up through life a little bit by Mike Sr., who was his high school football coach, who was very, very hard on him. That has shaped Mike. It's shaped his life, it's shaped his career, and so he's just a tough-minded guy, and you really need that. I think fans are going to like what they hear coming out of his mouth. I think they're going to like his attack-minded defense, and I think they'll like the aggressive style on offense, and they will probably also like the fact that there will be a running game this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you look at Mike-Pettine, what kind of camp are you expecting out of him? It seems every year we talk about with these new coaches, is it an easy camp? Is it a hard camp? Somewhere in the middle? What are you expecting?
I think it'll be a high-intensity, high-energy camp. When you've got coaches that are young, enthusiastic, energetic, I think that you'll see a lot going on there. I think you'll see some sparks flying. I think you'll see some fisticuffs occasionally. And when you've got guys on the team like the Dante Whitners and Carlos Dansby's and guys that have a little bit of fire to them, Phil Taylor, he's always getting in some kind of little scuffle with Garrett Gilkey. But I think you'll see some fireworks out there, and I think they'll keep it lively. There's only 12 practices in Berea, which is fewer than there have been in the past, and then there's the Family Day on August 2nd and at the University of Akron. But when people come out for the 12 training camp practices, I think you'll see high tempo, high energy, and a lot of aggression and passion.
Now, Mike-Pettine is going to handle calling the plays defensively, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, he will. He will still do that for now. He trusts Jim O'Neill, his defensive coordinator. They've been together for a long time, and he is his right-hand man. But in just taking over the team, he's not ready to give that up yet. Eventually, he might. But for now, this will be his defense. And what you'll see out of his defense, you'll see multiple fronts. You'll see a lot of attacking, and the focus will be on disrupting the quarterback's timing and rhythm.
A lot of fans, when Pat Shurmur was named and he said he was going to call the offensive plays, they didn't like that. What's different about a head coach calling defensive plays? Is it a little easier than calling offensive plays?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that definitely offense, you've got to be aware of every single situation that you can be in, and you have to be on top of it. And I think that was way too big of a job for Pat Shurmur. But Mike Pettine's been calling these defenses for years and years. He called them under Rex Ryan in Baltimore, and with the New York Jets, he called them in Buffalo. So I really don't think it's the same as what you have to do to try to call an offense.
Kyle-Shanahan is going to run the offense. He's run a lot of different types of offenses. Of course, we know about Matt Schaub. Then he ran an offense for RG3. This is a guy that can adapt very well to his personnel, and he might have to do that on the fly here with Brian Hoyer and Johnny Manziel, who are similar in some ways but very different in others. What do you expect to see out of Kyle Shanahan's offense?
Well, first of all, and we have said this before, they will run the football, which is something that did not happen last year. They do not want the quarterback to have to be Peyton Manning or Tom Brady. They want him to be a key, important part of the team, but not the whole sole focus of the team. So you will see a power running game. You'll see zone blocking. And it's a little bit complicated to try to describe zone blocking. Mike Pettine actually had the beat writers come in for actually a film session, which was really cool. And we went over and studied some of those kinds of things. But you will see the zone blocking schemes where, the defensive lineman, the offensive lineman will work together to pull out, to the left, to the right, different things of working together. And getting off the ball is a very important thing for the offensive lineman, to get off the ball quickly. They're looking for guys like Mitchell Schwartz to fare better in this kind of a scheme. They're really excited about what Alex Mack can do in this kind of an offense.
And of course, that zone blocking scheme became really popular when Kyle's dad ran it in Denver.
Right.
And we kind of got used to seeing that one cut and go style of running. Is that what you're expecting these coaches to emphasize with these running backs?
Yes. And That's one of the reasons why they drafted Terrence West, because of his ability to do that. And Ben Tate has familiarity with that type of scheme from his days in Houston, where Kyle-Shanahan once was. So, yeah, that's exactly what they will be doing. They will run the ball early and often, and they will emphasize that in November and December, obviously. Something that was kind of missing last year from the offense. It'll take pressure off Brian Hoyer and or Johnny Manziel.
Is Coach Pettine going to basically allow Kyle-Shanahan to just run that offense? How
Yes.
much will Coach Pettine have his hands in the offense, or is he going to stay out of the way?
He'll oversee it, but I think for the most part, this is going to be Kyle-Shanahan's offense, and he has the experience to run it. This is not an inexperienced offensive coordinator. He knows what he's doing, and like you said, he's run multiple schemes before. He might have to do it again. There may be, 1 week. Now, they are not going to flip-flop and go back and forth between the quarterbacks. They're going to settle on one. But that doesn't mean you will get through 16 games with one quarterback. Hopefully they will, or maybe they hope they would like to do that. But you will see opportunities for Kyle-Shanahan to use a Johnny Manziel if he needs to, and then if he needs to use Brian Hoyer, more of the drop-back type passer. But he will roll him out. I mean, he will do things. Brian will move.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. But they'll play to each of the quarterback's strengths if they're in there. And I think what people need to watch for is, hey, why not use Johnny Manziel in certain situations, even if Brian is the starter?
I was going to ask you that. How creative do you expect this coaching staff to be on both sides of the ball, not just offensively, maybe mixing in Johnny Manziel every now and again, but maybe defensively mixing some things up, not always being a 3-4 or 4, whatever they're running out there, just changing things around?
Well, definitely on both sides of the ball, I think they will be very creative in that way, and they've got the personnel to do it. So I'm sure that they are devising schemes and game plans. I mean, I really don't think you're just going to let a Johnny Manziel, sit on the bench for 16 games if Brian Hoyer's having a great season. I think they will find ways to use him, and once again, they're going to have to be a little bit creative if Josh Gordon is out for the season, so they will be showing multiple tight ends, multiple receivers. There will be all different kinds of formations and schemes offensively and defensively. It will be a multi-front defense, and that will be a big part of it, is to confuse the quarterback and not show what kind of front you're in.
Browns training camp. These are our preview videos. We've done offense, the defense, quarterback, and of course you just heard us talk about the head coaches. I'm Dan Labbe. She is Mary Kay Cabot. Thanks for watching.